Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Monday.
It's August 25th.
And the word of the day is periphrastic, which means indirect in speech or writing. Used in a sentence, when J.D. Vance said being American is about having ancestors who fought in the Civil War, without mentioning which side, he thought that was periphrastic. But you can just say I'm a neo-Nazi. We know what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah. J.D. Vance is Colonel Klink with a southern drawl and vocal fry.
Yes. And that accent is just as legitimate as Colonel Klink's was. Yes.
Exactly.
I'm no illusions.
I'm Cecil something Italian.
I'm Heath Enright, broadcasting delayed from America's Far Center. We are the Skepticrats.
On this week's episode, Trump lowers the crime rate in Washington, D.C. by committing fewer crimes.
It ain't easy being green. Energy.
And America just says no to Cracker Barrel.
But first, the rest of the intro music.
Joining me for headlines tonight are my fellow Skepticrats, No Illusions, and Cecil Something Italian. Gentlemen, before we get into the news, you wanna name like a minor grievance? You know, like a warm-up stretch?
I don't have minor grievances, Heath. I'd love to, but like I'm ready to force feed people a fistful of ants for putting their personal items in the overhead bins. So I can't help
That
it.
is a major grievance. I support.
Yeah. I would complain about the heat here, but in 21 days it's going to be -7, so I'm
Yeah,
not going to do
you're
that.
right.
I just got to
Fair
suck
enough.
it up.
All right. Well, if anyone's not looking forward to the -7 next month, speaking of that, you might want to head down to beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana for a GodAwfulMovies live show on Saturday, September 27th. And we'll be doing a platinum night on Friday the 26th with
Which is Eli's birthday.
Yeah, it is. Food, drinks, games, shenanigans. Eli's birthday. It's going to be awesome. So check out GodAwfulMoviesLive.com. We still got some tickets. All right. So let's ramp it up to the full grievances of current events. No?
Yeah, there we go. In our lead story tonight, the weirdest thing about the fascist takeover of this country is the "and now Lorraine with the weather" feel of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're in this situation where fucking Question Hound would be going, "Get out of the fucking building. It's on fucking fire, guys. Run." Right? We're about to have armed military roaming the streets of the Capitol under the direct control of the president with the stated purpose of civilian policing, all justified by a surge in crime that is demonstrably imaginary. Mm-hmm. And the mainstream U.S. media is like, well, let's hear from both sides of the nakedly fascist power grab. Right? Like, I get the fucking Washington Post can't run a headline that's just like, holy fuck, we're fucked. But there's got to be something between that and how will the new fascist takeover affect wait times at your favorite downtown restaurants?
One thing's for sure with that, though, Noah, is the donut line is going to be through the roof. Holy shit.
You're getting a glazed and a jelly couch, fucker. Let's move it along.
That's whatever makes sense.
Big
I'm
line,
fine.
man.
Whatever makes sense.
sense.
So, of course, this federalization of a city government came under the guise of a crackdown on violent crime, which is at a 30-year low in Washington, D.C., a city which ranks 29th in the nation in violent crime rates behind such notorious liberal hellholes as Nashville, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. But at times, Trump's ephemeral justification seems to also be city beautification. as an excuse for flooding the streets of the nation's capital with thousands of armed soldiers.
Yeah. Well, I feel like even the criminals of Toledo would be on board with the takeover.
Yeah.
And plus all of Michigan. But okay, I guess that would ruin it. You know, it's like fucking up the role play, and it's like, okay,
So right.
you're asking? It's ruining it.
Now, to be clear,
fascism.
as of the time of this recording, the soldiers are not armed. When Trump called for his unprecedented assault on municipal governance, plenty of Republican governors were willing to play along with the fictional justification and get in on this fascist takeover stuff on the ground floor. But the Pentagon and U.S. Army followed up by immediately issuing statements saying that the National Guard stationed in D.C. would not carry guns. Because I guess the guy who refused to oil that squeaky tank in Trump's parade is also in charge of the Office of Fascism Resistance now, which is good.
You guys could just take one of the leftover guns from that one-eyed terrorist left here in 2020 when he tried to overthrow the government.
There you go.
All right, Stuart Rhodes, the domestic terrorist who dropped his gun and shot himself in the face. So he's a glass eye. He kept trying to punch the Capitol Police and missing wide right over and over. So he got a commutation and technically hit it. Now he's a free man. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, no, you were talking about Donald Trump being tough on crime?
Yes, tough on crime in Washington, D.C. The last thing he wants is violent crime there, yeah. Mm-hmm. But, of course, unarmed soldiers patrolling the city don't strike fear into the hearts of those who disobey dear leader at all. So Pete Hegseth announced on Friday that the brown shirts would, too, be armed. So far, the Defense Department has offered no details on the development except for Hegseth saying on social media that it's, quote, common sense, end quote. Before the self-appointed expert on common sense no doubt fucking challenged his DoorDasher to a push-up contest for the extra boba tea that he brought.
Yeah. Pete lost that challenge.
Yes,
Only one boba tea as a mixer for his Long Island boba teas that day. Sad.
By the way, Heath, I did not know. I had not read your other story when I wrote that joke. I did not know that there was going to be a story about Jesus.
Oh, we will cover the push-up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk in depth because his push-ups have no depth, but we will talk in depth.
All right. So now many have speculated that the point of Trump's dictatorial crackdown in D.C. is to insulate his regime from future elections that might undermine his rule. Right? If he controls all the police in D.C., who can evict him from a White House he was just voted out of? And while I don't disagree with that assessment, I think it's important to keep in mind that that is not the only point of it. He also just wants to have more control of shit.
Yeah.
And we were reminded of that in a press conference about the undisguised fascism where Trump promised to come after Cecil next. Quote, when ready, we will start in Chicago. Chicago is a mess, end quote. What possible justification could the president have for a federal invasion of whatever fucking city he wants? Well, black ladies. Quote,
what?
African-American ladies, beautiful ladies are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago, please, end quote, internally and externally.
What? No, hold on. Diamond of Diamond and Silk fame, Ouija'd that one. right after that, she spelled out BTW. What about those Epstein files?
Yeah,
right on the Ouija board.
I'm
right
stationed
there.
right next to the guy.
Tyler, how do I block?
Yeah. So among the liberal cities with African-American mayors that Trump is setting his sights on, of course, is Chicago's pizza superior New York City, which Trump threatened to help once he was done with Chicago.
Blasphemy.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker shot back at Trump saying, quote, I'm sick and fucking tired of Gavin Newsom getting all the good press for this shit. I've been doing it the whole fucking time. What, I just didn't do it in all caps? God damn. End quote. Adding, quote, things people are begging for. 1, cheaper groceries. 2, no Medicaid and SNAP cuts. 3, release of the Epstein files. Things people are not begging for. 1, an authoritarian power grab of major cities. End quote.
Thank you for your attention deficit on this important matter.
Right.
Now, there's no such thing as a good billionaire, but at least JB is on the right side of history here.
Yeah, right.
I'm loving J.B. Pritzker recently.
He's great, but he's also a billionaire.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, right. There's also so much evil just below the surface.
Mixed feelings.
So we've reached the policing major cities with armed military that demand to see your papers at ICE pop-up checkpoints phase of fascism, guys. That's where we are. The effect that armed people known to harass and deport brown people in a post-mail-in ballot world might have on voting in these liberal strongholds remains to be seen, of course. But I, for one, just cannot wait for all these fucking NRA guys to storm in and save us from that authoritarian takeover they've used to justify their homicide-enabling hobby for the last fucking century and a half. I'll be over here holding my breath until they rescue us.
Fuck.
I'll be getting a gun for myself.
And in United State of Emergency news, the Trump administration has spent the last 7 months declaring emergencies. And here's why that's actually really, really bad for us. Trump is using these emergencies to push executive orders that rely on those things being actual emergencies. It's a way to get around any real thoughtful policy by just doing what you want and saying someone else made you do it.
Okay, that's exactly what we need to do when we get the power back. You think there's no left-wing fascism? I just thought of so many good ideas just now. They're amazing.
People for wearing glasses. Yeah. No, so it's really awkward when you have to declare an emergency about the overuse of emergency declarations. I just want to say, well tight-roped Cecil.
The office of the presidency should be able to respond to a crisis. It makes sense for that person to act quickly to react to some emerging situation. There's actually a National Emergencies Act that gives federal government this kind of power. And so far, Trump, in under a year in office, has outpaced former presidents in using this law. And a lot of experts think that his emergencies are all made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I'm pretty sure, like in terms of our thing, the war against Tren de Aragua is going to require at least 20 clones of Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? Like, for sure.
Yeah.
We can change the rules to, like, anti-fascism after we're done, but, like, that's happening.
Yep. So, look, it's correct that we've invested too much power in the presidency since the Cold War, right? But it's also true that no matter what executive power you gave Trump, he was going to fascism with it.
Yes, yeah.
Right? And the Republicans in the other two branches of government were going to let him.
100%.
There's, like, two others? Two?
Our country has faced a few emergencies like 9/11, the first COVID pandemic, and the time Obama wore a tan suit. Since this law existed,
Pandemonium.
presidents on average for their term have claimed about 7 emergencies in 4 years. Trump declared 2 on his first day in office and added 7 more in the intervening months since then. These emergencies give Trump a lot of power on how he wants to handle these situations. And look, this is probably not over, and expect more and different emergencies throughout his term.
Yeah, especially after 2 Filet-O-Fishes and 12 Diet Cokes. There's going to be some fucking emergencies.
Oh, the cleaning crew is going to long for the days when it was just ketchup on the wall, yeah.
God, I want a tell-all book from the cleaning crew for Trump.
Oh, I don't. Our first emergency, he declared, we were experiencing an invasion from our southern border. This let the administration lock up funds for both increasing border patrols and for wall construction and now wall painting. It also let him mobilize our military to work on immigration enforcement. He declared that the cartels, that they were a terrorist organization, and then said that they, quote, constitute a national security threat beyond that posed by traditional organized crime, end quote. And that the United States would, quote, ensure the total elimination, end quote, of the groups.
Really?
Trump's military is now planning small invasions into Mexico to deal with this emergency.
Yeah. Just circling back, the wall painting that Cecil mentioned is fucking real. That is a real thing.
Almost
Trump
did that one.
demanded the border walls get painted black to make them, uchi-owie hot so you can't climb it.
Right.
Which means 2 things. 1, he's a fucking idiot. That's nothing because night.
Oh,
and
damn it. We didn't think of night.
We were beaten by the best.
At least a few ICE agents on ATVs have already smashed into a fence at night at full speed. And that little bit makes me happy.
This is the greatest use of money ever.
Well, it's also, if you're up for a game of spot the fascist complicity, go to any mainstream news article about Trump's plan to send the military into Mexico to kill all the members of their drug cartels, and note the lengths they go to avoid the word invasion.
Yeah, man. Trump also declared the large and persistent annual U.S. good trade deficits as national security and an economic threat. He's used that declaration to impose tariffs on multiple countries. He's also declared a national health crisis of opioid use and addiction, and he has used these emergencies to impose tariffs specifically on China, Canada, and Mexico. Now, these tariffs aren't a static thing, and they constantly are changed by Trump's whim. Even the New York Times is tired of his shit. Here's a quote. Tracking the use of these emergency orders to justify tariff actions is extraordinarily complicated. Mr. Trump has changed rates, extended and further extended deadlines, and made specific adjustments to minimize disruption to particular American industries, among other actions, end quote.
Cool. Yeah. So just to review, the national emergencies include 9/11, global pandemic, Madagascar is fucking us on all this vanilla exporting.
Yep. They're buying virtually none of our vanilla.
Yeah, none of our vanilla's going over there. Yeah. The Trump administration has also declared a national energy emergency to keep unprofitable coal plants open, defund wind and solar, more on that later, and ignore environmental regulations.
Well, yeah, we got rid of the solar and wind because some of the emergency was too much energy.
Too much,
abundance.
Trump has also declared that the International Criminal Court posed a risk to national security when they issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu for murdering countless civilians in Gaza, so he can impose sanctions on anyone in the court or supporting it.
And we annexed John Bolton's mustache. National emergency we had. I get it.
Finally, and more recently, Trump has declared crime a national emergency in Washington, D.C. And this allowed him to take control of the D.C. police force for 30 days and allowed him to send in the National Guard and federal law enforcement officers to patrol the streets and harass people there like Noah just talked about.
Yeah, right. And the national emergency there, by the way, is that black and brown people were going to vote in the 2026 midterm elections if they were insufficiently scared to leave their homes.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. This isn't going to stop with these 9 emergencies either. He's going to keep doing this because the National Emergencies Act allows him to pick something he doesn't like or some place that he wants to intimidate and lets him do whatever he wants. We need this office to be able to react to things, just not the whims of a sad bully who treats this act like a cheat code to get whatever he wants and impose his will on the American people.
Hear, hear.
And in Let's Move to different country news. You remember when the Obamas were in the White House? Like 8 million years ago, emotionally.
A long time ago.
The Affordable Care Act, the Let's Move campaign to promote physical fitness. Science was determined by fucking scientists. Good times. And we're back. It's now. And our national public health chief, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., took some time away from anti-vaxxer stochastic terrorism to focus on making America healthy again with a gym rat montage video featuring himself and Peter Hegseth. They did a push-ups and pull-ups challenge, and apparently Pete failed very badly. Like, personally, I have no idea what it even means to do a pull-up. It doesn't even make sense physically. I'm going to, bring my body straight up with arms only. Get the fuck out of here. It's insane. It doesn't even make sense. But according to the obnoxious, healthy people, the self-proclaimed war fighter in charge of the entire military got it all wrong and embarrassed himself. The pull-ups and push-ups didn't even count.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, you guys remember that time when a nation pivoted hard to a focus on physical fitness and exercise for its populace, and it wasn't a prelude to a war of aggression against their neighboring states? Yeah, me neither. I don't remember that.
Yeah, so RFK Jr. called it the Pete and Bobby Challenge, and they were doing 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups as fast as they can. I'll start by saying I failed. Pull-ups just aren't happening. I was a flexed arm hang kid. I was able, when I tried it, to do several push-ups, but then I started shaking. I kind of fell on my face, and I might need to go to the dentist. But I didn't make a video.
Right.
So let's talk about the failure in this video. There's a variety. The most obvious failure, again, according to the healthy people, is that Pete Hegseth wasn't even doing pull-ups the whole time in his pull-up challenge. He might have done some pull-ups, but he switched over to chin-ups.
Sure did.
With the palms towards you, which are apparently easier. And during one of his final chin-ups, he does a crazy leg-kicking thing. It looked like Elaine dancing on a chin-up bar. And I'm told the leg spasm is also like a foul.
Yeah,
like
no, you can't just like fucking flop fish your way over the goddamn bar.
You're doing kip-ups and chin-ups at the same time. That doesn't really count. That being said, it appears he kicked himself in his own ankle like really hard and kind of hurt himself. So
Amazing.
That was fun. But most importantly, the video never even shows the whole challenge.
Right.
Which means A, I don't believe you. And B, you showed us a failure in your highlights montage that you made with editing.
Right? I think I could even make you look strong through the power of Premiere editing, Heath.
Right. Well, also, by the way, I was going to say that I couldn't do 100 push-ups, but then I saw what fucking Bobby Kennedy was doing and calling push-ups in his portion of the video. I could do 386 of those in a minute. Right? It was just, like his chest never even got closer or further from the crowd. It was like a minor spasm in his head. Fuck that guy.
His push-ups were more like chin-ups, yeah.
It's literally as fast as you can count. You just
moving his
scream.
chin up.
Right, yes, yeah.
As fast as you could go.
Yeah. Another big failure was Pete trying to do a bit
Yes.
during the video. The bit was yelling at a Marine while the guy was doing push-ups in the gym in the Pentagon where they're filming the video. Hegseth clearly demanded some time for his stupid little bit at the last minute. Like some poor director was running this very silly production. And right before they started, Pete was like, hey, right here in the middle of the very simple script, I'm going to change that. I'm going to do one of my hilarious, relatable bits. Everybody says they're really funny and hilarious and relatable. I call it the SecDef shark attack. Isn't even my character kind of. I'm just going to riff it. So like right in the middle, I'm going to do that. And then before they started rolling, he definitely went over to that Marine and explained exactly how the ad lib was going to go and exactly when to laugh, which would be right after the impromptu chest slap that I'm going to do. That's when you laugh in the ad lib.
I want to touch your chest.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the video, though, you can see the weird little gap that inevitably happens when you plan a laugh with a cue. And also, that Marine guy hates you.
Yes.
It's rough.
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's like, oh, shit, this very tanned raisin-looking guy is my boss's boss? I better laugh.
So, honestly, if he had just punched the shit out of Pete Hegseth right there, like, the entire Trump administration would have been worthwhile, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't have put that in their video, but
but
that would have leaked.
Like, we would have known it happened.
It would have been on video somewhere. Somebody would have found a way to leak it.
He starts it, and he looks normal, and then he ends it. He's got a giant black eye and a fat lip.
It's like an inverted fish shape in his cheek, yeah.
He gets court-martialed. He punches Pete again during the court-martial.
Amazing.
Show us on the Pete how you hit him. Yeah.
Missed opportunity. And while we're listing failures, Pete Hegseth as a human being. Let's talk about that for a second. Just a reminder, like kind of generally, he's been accused by multiple women of sexual abuse, including by his own mother in an email that got reported. And
Wait, what?
I said that weird. To be clear, mom was talking about abuse of other women, but still really bad. And then Fox News paid his mom to do an interview and say she retracted the email to him with a different email and apologized in a different email. You just can't see that email. Just classic roasting from mom about abusing women. Who among us hasn't had that? And then the retraction, of course. It sounds real, typical. Also, Hegseth doesn't believe women should serve in combat roles in the military. In a book that he authored with the help of an author, Hegseth wrote, "Women cannot physically meet the same standards as men." Well, during the fitness challenge video, Hegseth checks in with some military people on how they did. And Navy Lieutenant Commander Crystal Gonzalez finished way ahead of Pete. Pretty impressive time. And during this little segment of Pete hearing about everyone's times, we also learned, in terms of failure, he can't say numbers out loud without putting up that many fingers.
Heath, if you think that's weird, Ann Coulter has to stomp the numbers out.
Well, And Ann Coulter is a combat role, so that fucks up Pete's thing, too.
And in terms of RFK Jr., he can go fuck. But I want to be honest here. He was looking good in the challenge. I got to be honest. He's 71 years old. He's related to the Kennedy family. He lost most of his brain to a sandworm of Arrakis. And somehow he did insanely well. According to the video, at least, he did 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And he was looking shockingly good while he did it. I was furious while I was watching. I was like, fuck this guy. How is he doing that? But all that being said, he went to the gym, as usual, wearing jeans like a fucking serial killer. That's insane. And his body count is pretty big with all the stochastic terrorism of anti-vax bullshit.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? Whale carcasses and bears are heavy, man. It keeps you fit. And in American history X'd out news.
Oh, no.
The big problem with American history, and I'm sure my fellow history buffs will agree, is it's a fucking bummer. Right? It's always white people genocided this minority and white people genocided that minority. And slavery was so bad and blah, blah, blah. But luckily, Trump has pinpointed the crux of the problem, honesty. So he'd like to do away with that. Now, of course, we've talked about his ongoing efforts to eradicate honesty in the teaching of American history in our elite universities, but now he's setting his sights on the world's largest museum complex, the Smithsonian Institute.
Yeah, he's got a big paper map with it circled, and it says "smart people" with the R backwards.
Yes,
next
right,
to it.
in Sharpie. Yeah.
Tyler, get in here. Good. Call my anvil guy. We have an anvil guy, right?
If anybody has an anvil guy, right?
Yeah.
Call Nippon Steel. I have a golden share, I think.
Yep.
I can get an anvil, right?
So Trump heralded his latest assault on the Smithsonian with a social media post that said, quote, "The Smithsonian is all caps out of control, where everything discusses how horrible our capitalized country is, how bad capital slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about capital success, nothing about capital brightness, nothing about the capital future," end quote. And yeah, as distressing as it is to have nothing about the future in the History Museum, and as admittedly petty as it would be to focus on the downtrodden's lack of accomplishment, I'm pretty sure that slavery was really bad. But to be fair, I probably learned that in some fucking woke-ass museum, so who knows?
All right, Donald, we futured it up for you. Here's an exhibit with you in a cell in The Hague. It's futury, right?
Oh, here's one where you're dead. Yeah. So of course the stated
same
justification. Of course, the stated justification for all this was the specter of wokeness. Trump followed up his attack on the Smithsonian by imploring America to correct course. Quote, "This capital country cannot be all caps woke because all caps woke is broke. We have the all caps and in quotes, hottest capital country in the capital world, and we want people to talk about it, including in our museums," end quote.
He added in all caps, "Stop talking about Epstein."
Yeah, right.
Maybe paint the museum black? Get it all hot?
Hard to do when you're whitewashing it, but yes. But the White House followed this up with a goddamn press release that was titled, quote, "President Trump is right about the Smithsonian," end quote.
Gosh.
Yes, he sent out his own missive titled "Trump was right." And it's actually worse than that makes it fucking sound, because apparently that's part of his rebrand.
Yeah, it is.
Right, because you can't sell "Make America Great Again" when you're in charge of America, and the whole fucking "Keep America Great Again" or whatever never caught on. So now he's wearing and selling a red hat that says Trump was right about everything. So this fucking Orwellian Declaration of Infallibility is also part of Trump's presidential merch strategy.
Okay, freedom is slavery is going to confuse the thing with the Smithsonian. So just put "I'm always right" or whatever on the hat.
Do you guys feel depressed that Idiocracy wasn't a satire, but it was just prophetic?
It was
Does that make you
trying,
guys
man.
depressed?
It
Nailed
was
it.
trying. So in this declaration of rightness, Trump cites a series of examples of woke exhibits at the Smithsonian. Or actually, that's what he promises to do, but he doesn't. Right? He claims to do that, but one of the so-called exhibits is the fact that several Smithsonian museums fly pride flags at their entrances during Pride Month. Other sins include an effort by the National Portrait Gallery to examine American portraiture and institutional history through the lens of historical inclusion. That's it. And here's another one. They commissioned a stop-motion animation about Anthony Fauci's career. That's pretty woke.
Okay, that was for spite, clearly. I'm glad they did that, but it was like super good spite there.
Also, and this is both a direct quote and the entire fucking bullet point. Quote, the Museum of American Art uses American sculpture, quote, to invite dialogue and reflection on notions of power and identity, end quote.
All right. Listen, you read the placard by an artist, and we all want to punch him in the face like it's an op-ed from Peter Thiel. That's how placards go. But you got to let them have it. It's all they have,
right?
Is writing that placard.
Right. And look, I want to be clear that the effort to take over black majority and black represented cities are part of the same effort as this, right? People like to portray Trump as this like reactionary person who only cares about self-aggrandizement and power. But if you think he doesn't have a political ideology, it's because you're not paying attention. His ideology is and always has been white supremacy.
Absolutely.
He rose to national prominence calling for the death of innocent black kids. He rose to political prominence by questioning the Americanness of our first black president. And he rose to the White House by calling Mexicans rapists. And almost every grievance on his list amounts to the museum is admitting how shitty white people are.
Yeah. And in taking the wind out of our sails news, Don Quixote Trump is tilted at windmills.
He is, though.
Gigantic tool of the oil and gas industry and also the United States president has once again gone after wind power as the root of all evil. He has said really stupid shit about windmills in the past, like, quote, windmills that destroy everything, the most expensive energy there is. They ruin the environment. They kill the birds. They kill the whales, end quote.
The whales?
And we should trust him on his in-depth knowledge about wind power because, quote, I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody, end
really?
quote.
Whap, 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 whap. Whap, 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 whap. Whap, it's like that. Whap.
He thinks that windmills ruin the view of the ocean and that they're eyesores. And I guess nothing can compare to the beauty of a gas refinery or a coal power plant.
Good news, the views of the ocean are going to get closer. You're all welcome.
Yep.
All right, guys, Trump once said that the noise from windmills caused cancer. Right? That was so wrong that fact checkers had to make sure it didn't loop back around to a universe where it was true.
Now, look, he can have certain opinions about if something looks nice or not, but he's wrong about wind power. It's not a bird murdering device. I mean, sure, birds do die when they strike the turbines, and about 700,000 birds die each year. But the domestic house cat on the low end kills 1 billion birds a year. Yeah, the wind turbines don't kill whales. Most of the whale fatalities are from human fishing nets.
Just a wind turbine dropping a bird and a whale at your front door. Purring proudly.
What is even envision? Like, I can't imagine how a wind turbine kills a whale unless like a fucking kaiju is wielding it, right?
Right?
Spins it up and saws right through or something.
And he's wrong about wind being expensive. It's not expensive energy. Well, it wasn't anyway. This last Thursday, the Trump administration announced that it would conduct a trade investigation into imported wind turbines. Their plan is to put tariffs on wind turbines in an attempt to make it more expensive and thus tank the industry.
Yeah, just what America is calling for. Higher energy prices through higher taxes. Or I think that's what they're asking. They're like, Cecil, can you check with the beautiful African-American women in Chicago and find out what the people are calling for?
You have a Ouija board, right?
The Trump administration is using its emergency powers, like I described earlier, to allow them to place tariffs on things that threaten national security. Trump's plan is to use these powers to outprice wind power so that oil and gas industries can thrive. Any tariffs will affect offshore wind farms because those projects use imported windmills.
Okay, some place called the Netherlands is killing us on windmill deficits. Is that even real? I'm going to put a tariff.
This isn't the only thing the Trump administration has done to slow wind farms. They've introduced a new bureaucracy by adding more political review by the Secretary of the Interior office, which is slowing permits and creating delays. They are reviewing already approved projects, opening investigations into bird deaths caused by windmills, and rescinding the promised leasing for federal lands for wind projects.
Okay, when a wildfire literally takes down an entire coal plant, it's gonna be funny. Like, not, okay, I don't want that to happen. Not like ha-ha funny, but like dark irony funny.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, like, and when people in red states freeze to death for the lack of affordable heat this winter, that'll be irony funny too, because they'll turn blue.
Come on, you guys got to admit that's pretty. Oh, you're dead.
You would have had.
You would have laughed. You would have laughed at this. I'm telling you.
You probably wouldn't have gotten it. But if we could explain it to you.
Yeah, your smart cousin in a blue state could have explained it to you. Trump posted this to Truth Social last Wednesday. Quote, "The scam of the century," all that was in all caps. "We will not approve wind or farmer destroying solar. The days of stupidity are over in the USA. 3 exclamation points, end quote." By the way, that sentence has 4 blue grammar lines under it.
It does. It does. And that's not even counting the triple exclamation mark.
Wind and solar power were growing industries in the United States prior to Trump retaking the White House. It provided 16% of the nation's electricity. Wind and solar were on track to power the future, and now they're just fueling Trump's next tantrum.
Yep. And finally tonight, in bland confusion news, we have a very important story about Cracker Barrel. Bland, nailed it. It's controversial new branding and the American culture wars. So the anti-woke movement has had some interesting moments lately. When Bud Light acknowledged the existence of a trans person that one time, Kid Rock murdered a case of Bud Light with an assault rifle in a video. Who the fuck is Kid Rock? It doesn't matter. The point is, it felt like a bit much. It felt a little snowflakey from whoever the fuck I just said. And when M&M's made their chocolate mascot wear sneakers instead of go-go boots, Tucker Carlson had a meltdown about the, I think, reduced fuckability that had happened.
Was his contention.
In your hands. No
Again, you know, felt like a bit of an overreaction. In fairness, it is gay to fuck a piece of lady chocolate who's wearing sneakers. But some people enjoy gay sex with lady chocolate. You got to relax, Tucker. But for this latest example, I am drawing a line in the sand. The heretofore pantheon of American cuisine and culture, known as Cracker Barrel, with its delightful country store full of stupid fucking shit, and its unwavering loyalty to low-density lipoproteins, and its general theme of antebellum charm, has ruined the entire brand. They fucked up the vibes of the country store. They made the restaurant all sterile and corporate, and they removed Uncle Herschel from the logo. Yeah, he's the old white guy next to the eponymous barrel. Wokeness has gone too far. I'm drawing a line.
I saw a tweet that said that they removed the cracker and the barrel from the logo. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get why the restaurant that has fucking offers a free catheter every Wednesday with a meal above $10 wants to appeal to a younger audience, right? But when your customer base is primarily people who remember gathering around the barrel of salt crackers at the country store, you got to know that changing literally anything is going to freak them the fuck out. Come on, people.
Yeah.
So here's a little background. Cracker Barrel has a history of really shitty bigotry in their hiring practices. But in recent years, they've changed course slightly and implemented some consideration of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. Well, slightly changing course on your bigotry is un-American, so the alt-right was already mad. And then last week, adding insult to injury, Cracker Barrel spat in the face of Uncle Herschel and took him out of the logo. And yeah, they removed the cracker and the barrel. Like Cecil said, they really did that. Like, what the fuck are the words of the restaurant now? What do they even mean? I have no idea anymore. Cracker Barrel, I can't even see a thing. The masses are furious. We are furious. Among the Les Mis chorus of important voices who agree with me is Donald Trump Jr., some guy named after the President of the United States. That's right. He posted, WTF is wrong with @Cracker Barrel. And professional influencer and therefore esteemed colleague of all of us, Christopher Rufo, posted. He posted a whole thing that was truly insane, but just this little part. He said, "We must break the barrel."
These people had to pause mid-forkful of Cracker Barrel slop to type this on their phone. Who else could possibly eat there other than them?
No, my first reaction to this news was, God damn it, these Republican fucks are going to make me support Cracker Barrel now, are they? I'm going to have to eat some fucking fried gravy or whatever. Fuck.
Also worth noting, my sentiment was echoed by the iconic actor James Woods, who said, quote, Cracker Barrel was the only place I'd ever stop. No mob fights.
What?
A fun, corny atmosphere and delicious food when you're hungry and tired. I'll never stop foot in one again.
All right, I'm dying to know where James Woods was eating that mob fights were a constant concern for him.
Right?
But I'm suspicious of anybody who pretends Cracker Barrel had delicious food.
I
mean, come on, like edible food when you're on the road. Like, come on, let's be realistic.
Okay, we're making fun of James Woods. That's fair. But perhaps you've heard of Byron Donalds?
I have not.
No, I haven't.
Really? The iconic Florida congressman
Doesn't ring a bell.
of the iconic District 19.
Oh,
Read a map. According to Byron, no one asked for this woke rebrand. It's time to make Cracker Barrel great again. That'd be McBigga. And then he ended with an American flag emoji. He also told, and this is important, a very personal story about his lived experience that makes his emotional response really resonate. Quote, in college, I worked at a Cracker Barrel in Tallahassee.
Aww.
I even gave my life to Christ in their parking lot.
Shut the fuck up!
That's a really weird pot roast they served that day, man. It really had me wondering if I was going to make it.
You can only give your life on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You can only do it on Tuesdays. Yeah. These people have a very complicated barrel-based ideology that I cannot wrap my head around.
Wow. Gave his life to Christ in the parking lot. They must have had, it was like Eucharist Cracker Tuesday at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, there you go.
Something like that.
I'll have a deep-fried Eucharist and gravy, please. Thank you.
Oh,
you don't have to say in gravy here, sir.
Yeah.
In gravy is just we literally do not
We're
know.
giving you deep fried gravy, and we'll crumble a cracker on top if you want.
Your Diet Coke has fucking gravy in it, sure.
Yeah. Well, I am still furious about this. Their PR team over at Cracker Barrel, they even tried to wriggle out of the mess by releasing a statement saying, quote, the logo is a callback to the original and rooted even more in the iconic barrel shape and wordmark that started it back in 1969. Uncle Herschel remains front and center in our restaurants and on our menu.
And in our hearts.
It was, we love old people. Let us love old people.
By the time this episode comes out, guys, I feel like Uncle Herschel's going to be back on the logo wearing the green M&M's go-go boots and whipping Aunt Jemima for her insolence, okay? I don't think we have too much to worry about here.
Amazing.
Okay, you're making my position harder to keep doing the bit. Okay, so here's the thing, though. I haven't even mentioned the biggest part of the scandal. They wokeified the Pegboard game.
So I totally tweeted about this the last time I was in the fucking Cracker Barrel. They did, though.
I'm actually mad about this a little bit. Not really, but I actually maybe a little bit. So for anyone who hasn't already dined in the lovely establishment called Cracker Barrel, every table has a triangular wooden board with 15 holes in it, and you place 14 pegs in the holes, leaving one open.
Which sounds pretty gay right there, right? Like,
so far, already.
Pegging going on.
Yeah. And then you got to jump the pegs like checkers to eliminate as many as possible. And for decades, the board had a message about the scoring system. 1 peg remaining means you're a genius. 2 pegs is pretty smart. 3 pegs is dumb. And if you leave 4 or more, you're, quote, an ignoramus. They spell it. They're going for ignoramus. I don't know. Whatever.
Nobody could spell it. Everybody's just like, well, just fake it till you make it. Come on.
Just a classic roasty thing. But they got rid of that. Now it just says, leave 3 or more. No reason to be embarrassed. Try again. And yes, there is a reason to be embarrassed. It's not that hard to do the pegboard game. And Sean Davis agrees with me. Sean Davis, the CEO of the Federalist. Fuck. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. He posted, Cracker Barrel didn't just destroy its logo and restaurant vibe. It also changed the peg game to make dumb people feel better when they do poorly.
I think if you leave 4 pegs in, you can put that on your resume you submit to the Justice Department.
Yeah.
And they automatically hire you. They put you in the hired book.
I'm sorry. Look, if you can jump over any peg at all, you're doing better than Dean Cain. And he was allowed to join ICE. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is important. This right here is why we lost the election. Okay. The pegboard thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, we lost it to a bunch of bigots who I apparently agree with about a logo. It's neither here nor there. I'm doing a bit. I'm happy to report, though, the ancient wisdom applies. Go woke, go broke. Following the announcement of this dumb rebrand, shares of the Cracker Barrel stock immediately plummeted by 10%, erasing about $100 million in value. Then it started going back up because that's not based on fundamentals. The demand for a large tureen of white gravy doesn't really depend on ambiance. But that's not the point.
Oh, tell me Eli bought on the dip.
No. It's about heritage, not heritage and a silhouette of the old white guy and a barrel and telling kids they're stupid, not hate.
Well
that's
said,
what it's about.
Man. Well said.
And on that note, we're going to close it out. Thanks to Noah, thanks to Cecil, and thanks to all the listeners who like us and follow us on all the various internets. Please keep doing that. Please keep listening, and please keep telling your friends. And if you find the naive stupidity of our giving away free show business model to be oddly charming, you can send us gifts of money at patreon.com/Skepticrat. Just like Adam Gilbert, Elizabeth, Zephyr, Dave, Space-Time Traveler, Jennifer Richard, and Alexa. Your wonderful generosity will not be squandered at a sterilized corporate chain restaurant. I will be going to TGI Fridays from now, where the dumb shit on the walls is genuine.
There you go.
And whether or not you're feeling financially benevolent like those fine people, if you enjoyed our brand of whimsy and you'd like to hear more dick jokes for your charge, check out our brother and sister shows, The Scathing Atheist, GodAwfulMovies, D&D Minus, and Citation Needed, available in all the podcast places. And just a heads up, we'll be off on the next episode, but we will be doing a pajama party live stream from beautiful somewhere in Jersey near Eli and Hannah.
Hard for them to travel because of the kid.
That's going to be Saturday, September 6th, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Games, music, magic, drinks, and the thrill of a live show. Stay tuned for details from Tim if you want to check it out.
This is Patreon only, by the way. So if you want to check it out, you also have to be a patron.
So Patreon it up. Absolutely. We just have one last thing. Let's compliment that pianist. Special thanks to Ryan Slotnick of Evil Giraffes on Mars. He is the creator of the virtuosic musical stylings you heard today, which were used with permission. You should definitely check them out using the links we'll provide or by Googling the only band called Evil Giraffes on Mars. Until next time, catchphrase sign off. We're just all blowing each other in a circle. Fellas, is it gay to have a chicken sandwich while you're doing this? Is this gay?
If you put more than 2 pickles on it, it's gay.
The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle and the Thunderstorm, LLC. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Legislation is changing. Budgets are shifting. And terms like one big beautiful bill can feel anything but beautiful. That's where BHM CPA Group steps in. BHM's purpose is to simplify the complex. Their team is trained to meet today's challenges with real-world solutions in tax, accounting, and business planning. Get the clarity you deserve so that your business can thrive. Don't wait. Visit BHMCPAGroup.com. That's BHMCPAGroup.com. BHM, because running a business is hard enough. Your finances shouldn't be.